What is up, my lovely, beautiful people? It is, yet again, another end of the month, meaning that it is the start of a new month. But before we get into the new month, we must talk about last month, and specifically what the fuck I read last month. And, as you know, it is a manga log. That being said, this month was quite eventful. I got a new tattoo that's all healed up and lovely. I have played a fuck ton of Elden Ring, which has caused me not to read as much as I usually do. Not ashamed of it. Nope. Seriously, I've played a good amount of Elden Ring, and yet I think I'm not even halfway through, and I love every moment of it. It is great. I need to play more. I want to play it several times to get all of the... I think there's like 7 or 8 endings. I don't know off the top of my head. But that is not what's important right now. What is important is to talk about what I have read this month, where it is slightly less than usual. Mostly because of... it's because of Elden Ring, quite literally. And there are a few ones that I started this month, and maybe I'm going to talk about the ones that I've continued, but I'm pretty sure I'm just going to focus mostly on what I started this month, because I've read a few that I want to get a little bit more in-depth detail on. But before that, the numbers of the stuff that I read is less than usual. So I have read what I have read this month are manga volumes are 23, comic volume 0, and I have finished 0 series. Like I said, not 23, 32. Fuck. I am discombobulated. I'm sorry for that. I'm not going to edit this out because I don't feel like it. So, yeah. A little bit less than usual. My average after doing this for a little over a year stems to about 35, 36 around there. So a little bit less than usual. I will also say I have been playing D&D every Wednesday, so that takes another day off where I usually read, and also Elden Ring. So on to the actual stuff that you want to hear and what you came to watch, and that is me talking about what the fuck I read this month, starting with what I started this month. 4th time's the charm for this entrance. Anyways, I have only, speaking of 4, that was actually a pretty good number for my fuck ups. Anyways, the manga that I have started this month are only 4, though there are 4 that I think are different and unique, and one I really want to talk about, which is why I'm probably just going to focus on what I've started to read this month. One, the first start of stuff that I read earlier on in the month, and I just picked up volume 2 of it because it was a very interesting concept. And I know it's going to sound crazy that I have started reading this because, not that many people have probably started it, maybe. It's Kaiju number 8. This one is interesting for many reasons, but mainly the main character, which I will go into little details of. Kaiju number 8 is essentially a thought process of all those funny kaiju movies that are all set in Japan, where kaiju literally attack Japan all the time. Now then, take that funny anecdote that people have made up because of the amount of kaiju movies there are, and place them in real life. So, essentially, the world is plagued by kaiju, and Japan has the largest number of them coming to their very small island nation. And as a result, people go out and fight the kaiju, and there are 7 of them. That's important. 7 different types of kaiju that are documented in this world. And the main guy, who is here, I'm gonna remember his gonna mess up his name, aren't I? Kafka? Pretty sure that's his name. Kafka. Pretty sure. His name is Kafka. Kafka. Yeah. Kafka Hinobino. I am pretty sure I mispronounced his name. This lovely dude. He is 32 years old, which is so much different than most other shonen protagonists, being that he's not a shonen. And if you don't know what shonen is generally the demographic that these mangas are, mainly because it's Shonen Jump, where this manga is published in. Shonen is between like a teenage boy that's around that age. He is definitely older than that, and he wanted to join the forces to fight the kaiju, but he failed the exam several times, and now he is just the guy that cleans up after them fighting the kaiju and that dies, because, you know, giant fucking corpse, they need someone to clean it up. And this lovely man, who is obviously not human by the end of the first volume, because he gets taken over by a kaiju, but he is still himself, and he's able to transform into this, becoming what is known as the number 8, kaiju number 8 of the world, which again is not that there are 7 kaiju, there are 7 different types. He is number 8 of the kaiju of this world, and as a result, he also is able to try and join the defense force again, because they changed their rules, because they need more people to fight, because I don't know if you know this, Japan has a declining birth rate, which is, you know, a situation. As a result, talks about it in this. Hey, we should just let anyone join that is a little bit older and is still capable of fighting. So he's able to try and join up again, and it is a very interesting story, because the main character is not just a teenager or not in school. He is a full-grown adult trying to deal with his own fucking problems, and maybe, just maybe, live the dream that he had as a child, which is fucking great, and I wish that more series did this. Shonen Jump literally has more than just shonen teenage boys as readers, and should at least cater a little bit to the other audiences that they have. Not saying that they should move away from what they do, I'm just saying that they can do a lot better, and this proves that they can have different fucking stories that still feel like a shonen battle. Granted, it's only the first volume, and it might fall terribly down in, you know, the next several volumes, but I am optimistic based off of how other people have read ahead, what their opinions and such are, and I do want to read more of this, because, you know, even though I'm only 26, I'm starting to get up there in age. I'm only 26. I still want to stress that's that old, but sometimes, you know, waking up each morning, it hurts. But yes, this is very good and a different take on, you know, what can be in Shonen Jump. Now on to something that is a different take on isekai, and is a fucking mouthful. I'm just going to say that right now. It is the exo-drive Reincarnation Games All Japan Isekai Battle Tournament. This is a fucking interesting take on isekai. So essentially, the premise is that they, in this world, which is Earth, figured out that there are parallel universes where you get isekai'd, and essentially, but they realized, wow, all of these places kind of suck and are all at the precipice of death. You know, all of them are worlds that without the help of a hero or what have you, will all die and be nothing. But the best way that they figured out how to do that is to send people to be isekai'd and, solve the problem. And as humans do, we turned it into a game. So essentially, the reincarnation part is not the story. What's the best way to explain this? Essentially what they've done is turned isekai into a sport. So this is a sports manga that involves people getting isekai'd multiple times and trying to defeat the other person that gets isekai'd with them in battle. Not battle, but in this competition to get the most points. And they have different cheats that they bring along with them that they carry over, and strategy that they use to get the most amount of points while also saving the day. And it's such a weird concept, like, quite literally. I can't stress this enough. It is such odd, because the way that they can get isekai'd, they hire someone to do the truck drive. So fucking stupid, but I love it. I have read a fuck ton of isekai. As a result, I like the sort of feel of it and the thought process of, this is funny, I like to see more of it. And perfect. Granted, could it be stupid later on and be boring? Sure. I think Volume 2 is out. I haven't got around to getting it. But Volume 1 was funny, and if you've read plenty of isekai, you will laugh at the tropes and be like, God damn, I feel like the creators of this know what the fuck they're talking about, as well as read a lot of isekai. So, it is such a wild ride. Like the world doesn't really matter, which is great because a lot of isekais don't really talk about the world, and they just go essentially how they're saving the world, but in gaming. It's weird. Read it if you're interested. I have no idea the best way to explain it. It's in a tournament. It's weird. So, okay. On to the one that I actually wanted to talk a little bit more about, and one that I have, I don't think I have, but is one that I was very interested in when it first started coming out, and that is it wrong to pick up Girls in the Dungeon? But this is the second series of it. Essentially, what I know about it is because I was interested why Volume 11 never came out of, Series 1. Why it never came out. Turns out they had to change manga artist, and this is where the problem comes in, is that they lost the drawing and stuff of what they were. So instead of starting the next arc in this one, they skipped to the arc after that. So instead of the war arc that happens in this Danmachi, there is they go to the entertainment district arc right after it, which I understand that you maybe don't want to, restart it, but that arc was actually pretty fun to watch when, I watched it in the anime, and I enjoyed it, and I thought it was going to be cool and awesome to watch it read it in the manga. You can still read it in the light novel, but the manga is missing an entire arc. That is unfortunate. I'm pretty sure it will be covered in the, or is going to be covered in the, one second. Sword Artoria. I had to look at it. It's down there. Side story one, maybe, but it would only cover the Loki family, Familia, which is fine, but I would like to see it from the main character's point of view. Still, it's good, but it was a little bit jarring because several characters had major character growth, and if you go from series 1 to series 2, you're just like, damn, they cut out a lot. And I will still continue buying this, but it is slightly soured because they skipped an entire arc. I just don't know why they didn't just restart it. like, would it have been a little bit more work? Yes. But would you at least satisfy your fans? Yes. I just find it stupid that they didn't just try to redo it. I understand that you didn't want to do it, but, you know, I just wanted to read that arc. Now I have to either read the light novel or rewatch that season, but it's a little bit of an annoyance. I still find it a good series, but it has been dropped down a peg because of that one decision. I'm annoyed, but it is what it is, and I can't change their thought processes. I wish I had that clout, but I don't. Oh, man. Alright, on to something that is also a little bit of a different take, which I like and enjoy, that I have read a bit more diverse stories, and this one is essentially pretty interesting, and is Let This Grieving Soul Retire. Woe is the weakling who leads the strongest party. This one is an interesting one because it is not an isekai, no matter what you think, it is not. Essentially, in this world, there are these dungeons. You go into these dungeons and you get treasure. These people that go into these dungeons are called treasure hunters. And the strongest party is called Grieving Soul, and the leader of that party is this lovely dude right there, who is named Kai Andre. His last name is Andre. He is one of the 6 people in this strongest party, and when they were all kids, they were like, we're going to be the greatest in the world, and we're going to hunt and get all these treasure and become famous. He realized early on that while everyone else was getting stronger and stronger, he kind of petered out and was like, okay guys, I should just quit, quit while I'm ahead. They were like, okay, I know what you're saying. You're the leader. And he's like, that's not what I said at all. And as a result, he became the leader of the strongest guild. And he is not, I don't know if he's happy. I only really know what his feelings are from this first volume, and it is interesting, to say the least, because he's like, I know I'm weak. I can bullshit my way out of situations, but that doesn't really help me in staving off stabbing, and it's this weird juxtaposition that you have a character who knows he's weak, that at the very least knows how to use magic items, but yeah, I am interested to see where it goes. Maybe he actually isn't weak, maybe he's just comparable to the other people that was in his party, that he is no longer adventuring but is leader of the guild. How he feels about it, how he would do it, because I feel like he might show some promise in the next volume, but as of right now, he is kind of, I guess, sad at the very least about why he is in this situation and doing this situation. It is kind of interesting, to say the least, and I kind of like the fact that it is not an isekai. I enjoy this, because sometimes you can just write fantasy. That's all I'm asking. Sometimes you do not need to have a character that is essentially John Smith, because they don't want to give them a cool fucking backstory or anything. They want you to be the person that is embodying this guy and being like, I'm going on this adventure. This man feels like his own character, and he has his own hiccups about his life. So I enjoy it because of that. And it's not an isekai. I do enjoy isekais, but sometimes you just get tired of shit and you want to read something else. So, with that all being said, this is the amount of new volumes that I've read this month, which, pretty interesting, weird selection that tell different stories, and quite enjoyable. And like I said, I do have some problems with why they skipped an arc in Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? And I wish that they didn't. And maybe, hopefully, they do go back to it at some point in the future, but right now it doesn't look like it. Please, if you watch this, creators of Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon, can you please just fucking make this the arc that you skipped? That's all I'm asking. I'm gonna end the video, so I'm gonna walk off screen again. Okay, that is the end of this lovely manga log for the month of March of the year 2022. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know if you would, because I don't know people. If you've read anything interesting, go ahead and leave it down in the comments. I am always interested to read and learn about what you're reading, so maybe I can add to this fucking collection and, have an even harder time when I eventually move out of this godforsaken apartment. And if you want to see more of this lovely, beautiful fruit, go ahead and think about subscribing. If you want to see more content like this, go ahead and leave a like so I know that you enjoy this type of content. If you want to watch more, there are links in the description about other playlists as well as other things that I talk about, like music, video games, D&D, like whatever I feel like talking about. This is my channel and I can talk whatever the fuck I want to talk about. If you want to know up to date what I'm reading or doing, go ahead and think about follow me on Instagram, because that is the best place to know every little detail of manga that I'm reading that I have not talked about, that YouTube may not like, or I just don't feel like having to talk about it 50,000 times. So I think that's it. I'm gonna go back to playing Elden Ring. I hope you all have a lovely freaking day, week, month, year. Just be safe and read some manga. Bye.